Salutations, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. V back with another casted game of Age of Empires 3 on California, and a 2v2 no less. I don't think I have casted one of these in many moons, but I got this replay over from some buddies at the Sun Bros, and they told me it was very entertaining, so we're gonna give it a look. It is not the highest elo, but like I always say, you don't need to be high elo to be entertaining. So I am excited, and now let's dive in to the player intros. In the southeast corner of the map, playing in the color yellow as the Germans, we have a one-handed Coyote Killer. That is a mouthful. Going with the market start as Germany, of course, very standard, and probably going to be going for this TP here in the transition. And his teammate, oh man, I hate flipping through all of these names and team games. In the color blue, playing as the Italians, we have General Spades, a good friend, good old Spades. What a guy. And also going with the market start, and oh, look at that. Coyote sent him his starting sheep. That is so nice, and actually a very smart move. But let's see what they're up against, because in the northwest corner of the map, playing in the color purple as the Brits, we got N18, who is fighting alongside a multiplayer in the color red. It is El Nino. And so Malta and Brit, that could be a scary combination. Not only do they have some great late game booming potential, but Malta can seriously go for some ridiculous map control, and they could even go for like an early game mix. Maybe they go bow, pike, hussar. That could be really scary. But you know, when we see team games, especially at the lower elo levels, you almost always see one team decide to go for an FB and then rush. And we'll have to wonder which one it is. I really do think it will probably be Team Red, because, I mean, Germany and Italy, it's just not really a formula for Age 2 pressure. That is more a formula for sit back, get strong in Age 3, and in Italy's case, maybe even Age 4, and win the game from there and utilize these beautiful trading posts. So we'll have to see. Of course, you know, 2v2s, it's not always the easiest to follow everything. So if I miss some action, please forgive me. Right now, it's just some treasures. Ooh, very close for the 25 coin. The big muskrat treasure. I love those, man. I just love treasures that you can stop by, pick up, and whenever there's one like parked right next to somebody's town center and they don't grab it right away, and then I get to come in and steal it. Oh my God, villager. There was a villager rave there for a second. Oh man, it's so satisfying. Stealing your opponent's muskrat treasure. Oh, what a great feeling. But we have oh my goodness, Queen Parmesan. Oh man, she would look good with some pasta. And she is making her way across the map after some idle time. But this German explorer, Baroness von Donner, oh, another lady, double trouble. She's been picking up all sorts of small treasures, another 40 food there. But Coyote is going up to H2 now, getting his upgrades early for his market, even getting great coats right away, which I think is smart. I think they probably know that some sort of pressure is coming, and they did flare over here, though. Oh, okay, so they were just going for a treasure. 30 XP being picked up by Spades, and let's see what they do. Let's take a look over at Spades' perspective. And, I mean, just going up to H2, he's got a Lombard down, got a house. Herding has been decent. If he gets this second herd in, it will be good. Coyote's herding is not great, if I'm being honest. This herd really needs to get in, especially if there's pressure, which I keep alluding to it. I haven't seen this game. Wouldn't it be obvious for Malta and Brit to go for early aggression? I don't know. Herding for Brit is not great also, but also his hunt spawn is pretty garbaggio. Man, his herds have drifted off a long ways. Either that or Malta has been stealing his deer, which against a Brit player, that is a high crime. N18 and El Nino reaching H2 almost at the exact same time. General Spades there being the last player to reach it, and it looks like Coyote was first. Gonna get that TP in transition, which I think for Germany is very, very important. You want that XP curve to be nice and healthy as Germany, and I think we have just enough time to take a look at the decks before things get too crazy. Ooh, we see some mercenary companies. We got Broken Lance from Spades and Croatian Company, along with some upgrades. And, okay, so Uffizi is coming in now. That is pretty standard, but a lot of Age 3 stuff, not as much in Age 4 as I was predicting. So probably not going for anything FI, but he does have a very defensively built base. I like the building placement here for Spades quite a bit. Barracks going down, and I wonder, ooh, we're seeing double barracks. Interesting. I was sure that Coyote was going to go for a stable, and they could go for some sort of like musket Ulan combo. But Coyote could get some good raiding done, of course, in team games. You know, raiding across the map, being able to raid two economies that are relatively close to each other is always good. But we do see it. I am not crazy. The FB has landed, and have they seen it? They have not. And we see both outposts arriving from El Nino. Did he send 2 outposts? What? Oh, no. He sent Redden Towers. Which, okay, I like that. I thought for a second that he was doing something very dumb, but that's actually really smart. It's going to make this forward base really hard to assault in H2, and it's basically just his forward barracks. So coming in a little bit later, but actually a really big brain play by El Nino. And it looks like he's going pike, sending 8 pike as well. So this is going to be very early aggression, and it is not going to be bow pike Huss. It is going to be pure pike and pure longbow, which I think is actually going to work better. I think, longbows, of course, better than Maltese crossbows in H2, but in H3, Maltese crossbows can get pretty deadly. Going with Wignacore as his second card, I actually think maybe 700 wood would be a better pick there. But now we see it, it's barreling towards it's going right to Spades. And Spades has no military units out, just 2 Ulan, which are going to go down very quickly to the massed longbow fire. And this many pikes can do a lot of damage. Let's see what they decide to pick as their first target. And Coyote is coming in, and he has pure crossbow, but crossbow versus longbow, not always the best move for the crossbows, though they will be able to take out a lot of these pikes if they are macroed well. But the fact that Coyote is going to be defending this base alone is going to be tough. And now we see Pavicier coming out and Minutemen, and these pikemen not really being microed very well at all. They're just kind of being thrown into the mouth of all of this bow fire. And yes, the longbows are doing some nice damage in the back, but these pikes now going to go down, and that's a huge investment of wood. Remember, 10 pikes, that is 400 wood worth of investment on top of the 8 pike shipment as well. And man, I can't tell if this isn't, no, I can. This is a horrible trade for the red team with how many pikes and with how many longbow they lost, and all while taking out an outpost and a house and killing some Minutemen. And granted, they have killed most of Coyote's crossbows, but now these Ulan are going to come in, and the amount of pike that are going to be there to stop them is not going to be huge. And also, these Ulan, oh no, Coyote! Oh, don't just, oh no. Oh, throwing his Ulan right into the teeth of the pikes. Oh, some very questionable micro there from our friend Coyote. But, I mean, now that we have the Pavicier and the crossbow duo against longbow pike, it is now going to sway in blue team's favor. But blue team, they have no siege, right? So assaulting this FB is going to be impossible with 3 outposts and 2 barracks defending it. And they are going to clean up a lot of the longbows, the Pavicier going a little bit too far forward. And that's the thing with 2v2s that makes them very difficult, is staying coordinated and not leaping out ahead and getting your army isolated. But while I've been speaking, Spades is actually in H3, sending the 2 falconets, which, I mean, it's going to do well against all this infantry, but my only worry is, I mean, they have no anti-cav at this point, and look at that, 7 Hanover allies coming out from N18, the British player, And now it looks like the momentum is swaying back into Team Red's favor. And I think it all goes back to Team Blue just pushing too far and just not utilizing their Ulans effectively. And now this Basilica is probably going to go down to the pike pressure, though there are, oh man, actually no. Now that I say that, there are a lot of bows on the field. Two Falconets need to come forward, but as soon as they do, they're going to be noticed by the Hanover allies. And look at this, there's no protection, and they are immediately going to just get swallowed by the Hussar. Look at that. Are they even going to get a shot off? Fire! Shoot! Do something! Ulan's going to get on the bows as well, but a much better trade for Team Red. And just a lack of coordination here from Spades and Coyote. I mean, you would almost think that you would let your teammate know that those Falconets are on the way and that you need some sort of anti-cav, but now we see the momentum go back because General Spades, what card did he just send? He just sent Albanian Company. So the Bosniaks and the Stratiots, they are going to deal well with pikes in limited numbers, though I don't know if I would attack this mass of pikes. Maybe he is. Oh, camera, come on, work for me. Yeah, he's just going to take those pikes head on. And while it's not a great trade, I mean, H2 pikes, they cannot take on Bosniaks, so not near as bad as you might think. And just like that, we see the team... This has been crazy. It's just been one team throwing the game to the other team, and then the other team getting the advantage, but then throwing it right back. And these Hussars are still causing a lot of trouble. 8 Alps now coming out to deal with them. And I wonder if Coyote is going to try to get into H3. I mean, H2 Germany, certainly not a powerhouse. He's going to want to get into H3 as soon as possible. Now sending the 10 Veteran allies. What is going on? 10 Veteran allies. Okay, so these are hand infantry, high hit points, and they protect nearby allies. So they're a damage absorber? I mean, I guess that's good against the longbows, but I don't know. Maybe if they have good siege. If these guys have good siege, that actually might work, because now you have the composition that can actually assault this this forward base, right? You have H3 halbs, you got some pike mixed in as well. We see 700 coin coming in for Coyote. I really hope he uses that to get into H3. I want him to switch a bunch of these villagers that are on wood over to food, which, I mean, they've got lots of safety here in the back of their base, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And 29 vills for Germany. We see how many for Italy. My camera's just going all over. 25 vills for Italy. We see 39 vills for the British player. That is no surprise. And 30 vills for the Maltese player. So actually a stronger economy from Team Red. But that cav switch really did catch them off guard. And of course, Spades is now in H3, though Malta is going up to H3, switching to Sentinels, which is going to be a great response to all of these hand infantry and these heavy cavalry. And looks like N18 also macroing for an age up as well. So Coyote, if he does not play his cards correctly here, he will soon be the only guy in H2. And in team games, that can get your side killed pretty quickly. But El Nino now in the Fortress Age. And looks like Team Blue kind of just content to sit back here. I don't know if I love that. It feels like the momentum is just kind of being drained away here. Malta, of course, is going to have the chance to maybe even send a fixed gun to further support this this forward position, which would be really, really good. Veteran Pavisier coming in, and it looks like he just sent the Schiavoni swords as well, which is going to improve the damage of his infantry and his cavalry. So it's a very good card. Veteran Pavisier, I don't know how I feel about that one. Let's see, let's take a look here. And now Brit is going up to H3 as well, getting some market upgrades. And yeah, there's just a bit of a lull. Although I do like what Coyote is doing on the trading post here. He has secured 3 of the 4 teepees. And let's see. No, it's still just the Travois. So no upgrade there to get resources, but even just the influx of XP from the 3 teepees is going to be really good for Germany. The one thing is, though, oh man, look at Coyote's deck. There's just no big unit cards in here, right? None of the scary 9 Ulan, 8 Ulan. Speaking of Ulan, getting a good raid here in the British base, though they have to get away from these Hospitallers. They will chew up. Oh man, no! Oh, Coyote, man. Stop throwing your Ulan into the teeth of units that were born and bred to kill them. Oh man, you're breaking my heart. Ah, man. And now we see Coyote is going up to age 3 with the Exiled Prince, sending 600 coin on top of 700 coin. And man, this is just an interesting deck overall. And let's take a look at Spades. Spades now making Falconets, which I actually really like that move. Okay, because it seems like Team Red has gone away from the cavalry play. And doesn't look like they're going to be producing any more. Yeah, no cavalry coming out, just mass infantry. So these 3 Falconets are going to do very well. But oh no, we're seeing a coordinated army here. And what is Coyote doing? His army is rushing away. But maybe these Falconets will stand up. Oh, it's a flanking maneuver. All right, okay. Coyote is now in age 3, though he has no age 3 units on the field, but man, these Bosniaks are just still doing so much work. And these fire throwers, they're really not set up to take on their counter. The Sentinels going down to the cannon fire. 3 Falconets still alive, and now the forward base is being destroyed by, what are these guys? These Trabants? These guys have 20 siege attacks, so no, they're not really even great at siege, but it was more just kind of a numbers game at that point. And what a throw, honestly. I mean, I feel like Team Red had a great moment there to take the game, and just kind of let it slip through their hands. But to be frank, and no shade to any of the players, I mean, both teams had the chance to win this game multiple times. And whether due to micro or lack of coordination, they both kind of threw their chance away more than once. But happy to see Coyote and Spades take away a win. Let's take a look at the stats. Follow me to the post game. All right, guys, here we are in the post-game stats, and resources were pretty equal for all players. And when we look at military, also pretty equal, though Spades was at quite a bit of a deficit. Though, to be fair, the units he did get out did a lot of work. And I really think it was the Croatian company coming at just the right time that saved Spades and Coyote. Because up until that point, they had been out-microed and out-map controlled, and in a lot of ways, out-macroed as well. But when Croatian company hit and the other team had just infantry and age 2 infantry at that, the Bosniaks were just able to feast on those units. And I mean, look at that. That's when that fight happened, and we can just see the drop. I mean, both players for Malta and Brit at about 20-ish units, and both of them down to single digits by the end of the fight. And I don't know about that last fight. I felt like the compositions for both teams were just a little bit odd. It was this weird mishmash of H2 and H3 units. And, Malta was just starting to fully get into their H3 composition. But the Falconets came at just the right time. And it looks like Coyote just had enough units to body block, even though they weren't the strongest. So really enjoyed that game. It was entertaining in many, many ways. And now I know why I don't cast team games all the time, because they are exhausting. So next week, we will be diving back into our high-level 1v1s. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little diversion from the normal stuff. But until next week, guys, have a great day. Have a great life. See you later.